Here we go, folks. The atmosphere is electric as the drivers prepared to unleash their machines on the track at KYALAMI 2016 for the qualifying session.
The pressure is on to set the fastest lap times, and the tension in the air is high.
Rian Barkhuizen is on their out lap.
This is the moment they've been preparing for. Let's see if they can execute.
You can feel the tension building. Ulrich Kleinhans is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time. It's all about strategy in these early moments. Jacobus Besson is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run and get everything just right.
Patience is key in these early moments, John. But I have a feeling Jacobus Besson is going to make it count.
The adrenaline is pumping. Ernest Heather is on their out lap, warming up the tires and getting ready to put in a fast lap time.
It's a delicate balance between taking it easy and pushing hard. Let's see how Ernest Heather handles it.
This is where the mental game comes into play. Rian Barkhuizen is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run. That's the outlap done for Rian Barkhuizen. They'll now look to focus on their first flying lap. Wayne Midden is on their out lap.
It's all about finding that balance between staying calm and focused, while also pushing the limits.
It looks like Joost Haystack is getting ready to make their move. They're taking their time to warm up those tires and get everything just right.
They will want to get a good gap.
As Joost Haystack completes their out lap, they will be HPOING. They have given themselves enough space on track to fully attack for their first flying lap. You can feel the tension building. Ernest Heather is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time.
These are the moments that really matter. Let's see if Ernest Heather can deliver.
There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. It's all about strategy in these early moments. Wayne Midden is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run and get everything just right. Wayne Midden crosses the start-finish line at the end of their outlap. The adrenaline is pumping. JP Brand is on their outlap, warming up the tires and getting ready. JP Brand has completed their outlap. Wayne Midden is on their first flying lap. This is where the mental game comes into play. Peter Geldenhuys is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run. It's clear that JP Brand is on a mission in this qualifying session. They're pushing their car to the limit. The pressure is on in this qualifying session, but Joost Haystack is rising to the occasion.
Yes, they are. It takes a special kind of driver to thrive under this kind of pressure.
Ernest Heather is not as quick as they were hoping for. They're going to need to dig deep and find some extra pace on this next one if they want to move up the grid.
That's right. It's all or nothing now. They need to stay focused, hit their marks, and extract every ounce of performance from that car to move up the grid.
It's all about precision and speed in qualifying, and Rian Barkhuizen is nailing both. This is what it's all about. Jeevan Davis is putting on a show for the fans in this qualifying session. Ulrich Kleinhans is on their first flying lap. It's clear that Rian Barkhuizen is on a mission in this qualifying session. They're pushing their car to the limit. I don't know about you, but I think Jacobus Besson might have a secret rocket booster hidden in their car. They're just that fast.
Well, John, it seems like Jacobus Besson has got the need for speed and nothing is going to stop them now.
Looks like Wayne Midden is channeling their inner Schumacher today. They're absolutely flying out there. What a performance from Jeevan Davis. They currently occupy third on the grid. Can they maintain this strong position and secure a favorable starting spot?
You're absolutely right, John. Jeevan Davis's current position of third reflects their strong qualifying performance. Now, they'll need to strategize and capitalize on this starting position.
A strong showing from Richard Reschke as they currently sit in sixth. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst of speed to improve.
I couldn't agree more, John. Richard Reschke has done a fantastic job to claim sixth. The challenge now is to convert this opportunity into a strong race result.
Currently in 6th, Joost Haystack has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position. What a sublime effort by Ernest Heather in qualifying. They have taken charge of the session, holding the top position with authority. Their consistency and skill have been unmatched so far, and they are positioning themselves for a favorable starting position. Rian Barkhuizen has put in a great effort and currently holds 7th. With the session winding down, can they unleash their full potential and improve their starting position?
Absolutely, John. Rian Barkhuizen has put in a remarkable effort to secure 7th. The competition is fierce, and they'll need to stay focused to defend their position.
It's an impressive showing by Ulrich Kleinhans, currently in 9th. They've showcased their talent, but will they be able to find those crucial extra tenths of a second to climb higher? JP Brand has secured a respectable 2nd in the qualifying session. Can they capitalize on this position and use it as a launching pad for a stronger race performance?
You hit the nail on the head, John. JP Brand's current position of 2nd is a testament to their skill and determination. Now, they must stay sharp to make the most of this opportunity.
A solid performance from Richard Reschke as they currently hold position 9. However, with the session coming to a close, they'll need to find that extra bit of speed if they want to move up the grid.
Great analysis, John. Richard Reschke has shown excellent pace to secure 9th. Now, the focus shifts to whether they can use their track position to their advantage in the race.
JP Brand has positioned themselves well in 2nd during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start.
You're spot on, John. JP Brand's current position of 2nd is a testament to their skills and determination. Now, they face the challenge of maintaining their position against hungry rivals.
JP Brand will be happy having put themselves into 1st in this qualifying session.
It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
Let the racing begin?
Yes, John. Let the racing begin.
JP Brand will be feeling confident starting from pole position.
But it's also a nightmare if they can't hold on to it. Let's see how they will handle the pressure.
Taking off from the second grid slot is the skilled driver, Ernest Heather. The third position belongs to Jeevan Davis. Starting just behind the front runners in fourth place is the determined driver, Joost Haystack.
Could we see a podium result from Joost Haystack?
Taking the fifth spot is Wayne Mitten. The race has begun, full throttle ahead. This first lap is crucial, as drivers need to establish their position early on.
These opening moments can make or break a driver's race. Strategy and skill are key to navigating this intense start.
Having started in 1, JP Brand will be looking to establish themselves in this race.
All the drivers will be jostling for the best position, John. Some of them may not make it to the second lap in one piece.
I think passing is going to be difficult today here at KYALAMI 2016, so it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers get on.
I am so excited at the prospects for this race. I can't wait to see the drama unfold.
The racing is normally closely fought here at KYALAMI 2016. I think we are in for a cracking race. Jacobus Besson has got off to a great early start, already gaining places. Gotta be pleased with that start, Annie, all things considered. All the drivers will be trying to take advantage of the pack whilst they're still bunched up.
I'm looking forward to this one, John, and we'll see a return to form for Ernest Heather in this outing in South Africa.
The tension is high. These drivers are showing tremendous respect for each other while going all out. It's a master. On the sixth grid slot we have Peter Geldenhuys.
They would have liked to be higher up, but that's not going to stop Peter Geldenhuys fighting their way through.
Our seventh place starter, Ulrich Kleinhans, is a driver who knows how to make up ground on the track. Rian Barkhuizen will be looking to gain ground quickly as they start from 8th on the grid. The 9th starting position belongs to Richard Reschke, who will be looking to make up ground early on. We're watching Ulrich Kleinhans in 10th, and is currently being hounded by Richard Reschke with a gap of just 0.1 seconds.
If Richard Reschke gets any closer to the back of Ulrich Kleinhans, then one of them is gonna need some lube, if they want to take this further.
We've got an edge-of-your-seat battle between Joost Haystack in 2nd and Ernest Heather in 3, with just 0.2 seconds between them.
This is a tight race and Joost Haystack is doing a great job of holding them off. It will be interesting to see if Ernest Heather can make a move.
It's a game of inches now as Ernest Heather tails JP Brand closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake.
They say rubbing is racing, but if Ernest Heather gets too close, they might end up trading carbon fiber souvenirs instead of positions.
It's all eyes on this battle as JP Brand in third tries to hold off the challenge of Wayne Mitten.
Absolutely, JP Brand is really making that car as wide as possible, not giving Wayne Mitten an inch of space. It's going to take something special for Wayne Mitten to get past him.
Jacobus Besson could be looking for a way up the inside of JP Brand.
There is no room for error in this battle.
Talk about being caught in the middle. Jacobus Besson is sandwiched between their rivals, Ernest Heather 0.2 seconds behind and JP Brand 0.1 seconds ahead. The battle for position is on. The battle is on for Jacobus Besson. They're sandwiched between two rivals, Ernest Heather 0.2 seconds away and JP Brand 0.1 seconds ahead. It's a true test of their racecraft. Hold that thought. Hold the phone. Looks like Richard Reschke is coming into the pits early. Now is that to serve a penalty or have they picked up some damage during the start?
Certainly not where they want to be at this stage in the race. That's for sure, John.
It's a nail-biting showdown between these three drivers. They're nose to tail, pushing their limits in every corner. Jacobus Besson is going to be starting from 10th. Warren Dodd is placed in 11th. A setback for JP Brand, who has just been passed.
Definitely, but JP Brand is a skilled driver, and they have what it takes to fight back and regain that position.
Fantastic move from JP Brand, who has just gained a position.
Amazing stuff. Focus and precision, what it's all about.
It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce.
If Ernest Heather isn't careful, they might end up turning this high-speed chase into a synchronized spinning routine, and trust me, that's not a crowd pleaser.
Looks like we might have a great battle starting here between Joost Haystack in third and Wayne Mitten. It's been tense with a gap of only 0.3 seconds. Oh, this is getting intense. Wayne Mitten is just a few car lengths behind Joost Haystack. Wow, Peter Geldenhuys is really pushing hard to catch up to Jeevan Davis. There's blood in the water for 6th place.
This is the moment where legends are made. These drivers will go down in history as the ones who fought tooth and nail for the top spot.
The pressure is on for Jeevan Davis as they try to catch up to Peter Geldenhuys.
I think they are going to take them.
This is what racing is all about, folks. Three fearless drivers pushing their machines to the absolute limit, inches apart.
Absolutely, John. The slipstream plays a crucial role in these battles. The drivers are using every trick in the book to gain an advantage while constantly evaluating when to make their move.
Jacobus Besson is in 10th, and is being closely chased by Rian Barkhuizen, who is just 0.2 seconds behind. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Ernest Heather trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on JP Brand. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can Ernest Heather close in enough to mount a challenge?
It's going to be tough for Ernest Heather, as JP Brand seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Ernest Heather pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen again.
This is a thrilling battle as Joost Haystack edges closer to Wayne Midden in their fight for P3. Peter Geldenhuys is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a tightrope between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play. The gap between them is now just over 0.3 seconds. Who will come out on top?
The race is really heating up. Jeevan Davis is hunting down Peter Geldenhuys with everything they've got.
You can see that car bouncing around as they ride the curbs. It's a risky move that could end in disaster.
Looks like Warren Dodd is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curbs aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about finding the right balance between speed and control.
The tension is building as Ernest Heather trails behind JP Brand. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Can JP Brand hold on, or will Ernest Heather be able to close them down?
Absolutely. Ernest Heather in second will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an off or damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
Joost Haystack wants to close that gap with Wayne Midden. Jacobus Besson wants to get into Warren Dodd's slipstream. This is where the race gets really interesting. Ernest Heather is closing in on JP Brand. Hold on to your hats, folks. Joost Haystack is right on the heels of Wayne Midden, and we're in for a wild ride.
Should things go awry, Joost Haystack and Wayne Midden might find themselves giving a whole new meaning to the term tandem drifting, though I doubt they'd enjoy it as much as the spectators.
It looks like Wayne Midden is all over Joost Haystack. I think they are gonna press them through Clubhouse Bend and try and press for a mistake.
For sure, John, that's exactly what I would be doing here, as Joost Haystack is gonna be aware of them riding their bumper.
It's a tense battle for position between Jeevan Davis in 4th and Ulrich Kleinhans in 5. Jeevan Davis is keeping Ulrich Kleinhans at bay with a gap of 0.1 seconds.
This could be where Ulrich...
Breaking development. Oh my, Ulrich Kleinhans has had an incident. Every move counts now as Joost Haystack works to reel in Richard Reschke and overtake for P3.
Who will be able to maintain their pace and come out on top?
Seems like Warren Dodd is getting in range of Rian Barkhuizen.
Can they make it past without taking the paint off?
Things are heating up as Wayne Midden tries to close the gap to Jeevan Davis.
It's a game of strategy now as Wayne Midden hunts down Jeevan Davis. Yes, it's all about choosing the right moments to push and when to conserve energy, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike.
The action is non-stop as Warren Dodd shadows Rian Barkhuizen through every twist and turn, determined to claim fifth. The battle for 8 is heating up as Wayne Midden tries to catch Jeevan Davis in P8. This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit.
If Warren Dodd gets any closer to Rian Barkhuizen, they'll need to start sending out wedding invitations.
Warren Dodd is pushing hard and has reduced the gap to Rian Barkhuizen to 0.1 seconds.
That's a great effort from Warren Dodd. They need to keep up the pressure and see if they can make a move.
The race is heating up as Joost Haystack in fourth closes in on Richard Reschke. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight.
That's right. Joost Haystack in fourth knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Richard Reschke is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
Rian Barkhuizen has the pedal to the metal chasing Warren Dodd.
To achieve anything in this game, you must be prepared to dabble in the boundary of disaster.
It's a tale of two drivers right now, with Rian Barkhuizen gaining places and Warren Dodd losing them.
Absolutely, John, but there's still a long way to go in this race, and Rian Barkhuizen can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep driving with intensity and focus.
It's going to be tough. Warren Dodd is a master at defending their position. Is there enough time for Rian Barkhuizen to make a move? They're going to be even more determined to hold on to that position. Even though Jacobus Besson is a fair way behind Rian Barkhuizen, they can't afford to let their guard down. Rian Barkhuizen is still vulnerable to mistakes. The crowd is on tender hooks as Joost Haystack in fourth chases after Richard Reschke. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Joost Haystack find a way to catch up?
This is where experience comes into play. Richard Reschke has been in this position before and knows how to defend their position. But Joost Haystack is hungry for success and won't give up easily. Will we see a clash of the titans?
Oh, this is getting intense. Richard Reschke is just behind Joost Haystack.
With the way Richard Reschke is stalking Joost Haystack, you'd think they're trying to figure out what they had for breakfast this morning.
And Richard Reschke has just won the place from Joost Haystack.
Absolutely. Richard Reschke is showing great pace and determination, but they can't get too confident. There are still plenty of challenges ahead.
Ernest Heather is giving it their all as they chase down JP Brand in P1.
One important aspect here is choosing the right braking points. Ernest Heather needs to be precise to avoid overshooting and losing valuable time.
The gap between Jeevan Davis in 8th and Jacobus Besson remains over a second, but Jeevan Davis is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 3 minutes? It's a battle of wills out there, with Peter Geldenhuys trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Ulrich Kleinhans. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Will we see a dramatic finish to this race?
Indeed, the tension is high as Peter Geldenhuys tries to reel in Ulrich Kleinhans. But Ulrich Kleinhans is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Can Peter Geldenhuys find some extra pace to bring the fight to Ulrich Kleinhans?
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Ernest Heather, who is currently in P2. But JP Brand is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Ernest Heather. Things are heating up as Jeevan Davis closes in on Jacobus Besson. The gap between them is down to practically nothing.
Should things go south between Jeevan Davis and Jacobus Besson, we might witness a high-speed game of bumper cars, but trust me, it's way less fun with real race cars.
Jacobus Besson is on a mission, chasing Jeevan Davis, who's desperately trying to stay ahead.
That driver is really pushing the limits. They're riding the curbs and pushing the car to its limits.
The adrenaline is pumping as Wayne Midden gets within striking distance of Jacobus Besson in their race for 8th.
If Wayne Midden pushes too hard, they might find themselves exploring the scenic route, and nobody's got time for sightseeing during a race.
It's a close race between Ernest Heather and JP Brand in first.
If this battle ends in tears, it could be like watching a high-speed domino effect, but let's hope they keep it clean and avoid any unplanned games.
It's a thrilling pursuit as Wayne Midden is right behind Jacobus Besson, keeping the pressure on for 8th place. Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed. It's a battle of wills out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other. The gap between Jacobus Besson and Wayne Midden is growing. It's now up to 0.6 seconds.
Jacobus Besson needs to focus and keep pushing, even when things aren't going their way. If they can close the gap down, they may be able to bring the fight to Wayne Midden.
Oh, this is getting intense. Peter Geldenhuys is just a few car lengths behind Ulrich Kleinhans. The pressure is on for Ernest Heather as they try to catch up to JP Brand. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Peter Geldenhuys trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Ulrich Kleinhans. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can Peter Geldenhuys close in enough to mount a challenge?
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Peter Geldenhuys in 11th determined to catch up. But we know Ulrich Kleinhans isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Peter Geldenhuys is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
No room for error here. Ernest Heather is breathing down the neck of JP Brand, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move. Big gains for Ernest Heather as they move up the field, leaving JP Brand behind.
Definitely, but there's still a long way to go in this race, and anything can happen. Ernest Heather needs to keep driving with focus and intensity.
Disappointing for Ernest Heather, they now find themselves in second.
That's got to hurt. Ernest Heather will be kicking themselves right now.
It looks like Peter Geldenhuys is pushing hard to catch up to Ulrich Kleinhans. The gap is over a second, but Peter Geldenhuys is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on Ulrich Kleinhans? This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Ernest Heather will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. This is what it's all about, folks. Jacobus Besson is in hot pursuit of Wayne Midden, who's just trying to stay ahead.
I remember being in a similar situation during my racing days. Jacobus Besson must stay focused and wait for the perfect opportunity to overtake.
The tension is building as Wayne Midden trails behind Jacobus Besson. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Can Jacobus Besson hold on, or will Wayne Midden be able to close them down? This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Ernest Heather is chasing JP Brand in P1. Wayne Midden seems to be putting the pressure on Jacobus Besson.
They need to keep it on the black stuff. You don't get points for driving over weeds, not in this game.
A great pass for Wayne Midden as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Jacobus Besson has lost ground.
Where there's a will, there's a relative.
Oh my, Jacobus Besson is hot on the tail of Wayne Midden. As they come into the S's, I'm sure they may have a cheeky peek up the inside.
And it's not just about skill and talent. It's about who has the nerves of steel to handle the pressure and make the right decisions at the right time.
On the final lap now, and Ernest Heather looks like they might just wrap up this win. And that, folks, is how it's done. A solid performance and great win from Ernest Heather. A nail-biting finish, but JP Brand claims second place.
Brilliant, JP Brand showed great skill and determination to take second place.
That was an outstanding performance from Richard Reshka. They fought hard and took the final spot on the podium.
Impressive driving to secure that spot.
With Joost Haystack, Warren Dodd, Rian Barkhuizen, and Jeevan Davis in 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Wayne Midden, Jacobus Besson, Ulrich Kleinhans, and Peter Geldenhuys take 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. let the racing begin?
Yes, John. Let the racing begin.
Starting from pole position is the perfect place for Ulrich Kleinhans to launch an attack.
But they will have to keep their foot on the gas in order to stay there.
Jacobus Besson is second.
They are in a good place to mount a good challenge come the first corner.
We see Wayne Midden sitting in the third spot. Lining up in fourth is Jeevan Davis.
The South African driver will be focused on a good result from here.
The fifth place on the grid belongs to Rian Barkhuizen, a driver with plenty. The race is on, and tensions are high as drivers navigate the first lap. One wrong move could lead to a collision in these tight quarters.
The drivers will need to be aggressive but also patient. They can't afford to make any mistakes if they want to stay in the running for a podium finish.
It's a delicate balance, Annie. But the best drivers know how to find that balance and make it work to their advantage.
It's going to be an exciting first sector. I can't wait to see how this all plays out.
If this were a game of musical chairs, Ulrich Kleinhans just lost their seat, dropping positions right from the start. Out of the traps, and Warren Dodd has already made their mark in this race, Annie gaining places early on. Joost Haystack looks like they have got off to a flying first lap, gaining places straight out of the gate.
I'm sure they're grinning from ear to ear, but they'll need to stay focused, as there's still a long way to go, John.
The pressure is on whilst the field is bunched. Who can keep their cool and take advantage?
The race isn't won in the first turn, but there have been plenty that have ended there, John.
As the drivers get this race underway, let me give a shout out to the admin team at Simspeed Motorsports for making this all possible. Heroes one and all.
What a beautiful day for racing here at KYALAMI 2016. This is going to be good to watch.
Oh, the pressure is intense. These three drivers are displaying incredible skill and determination. It's like a high-speed chess match out there.
Couldn't agree more, John. This wheel-to-wheel racing is what fans live for. The determination and tenacity shown by these drivers to gain even the smallest advantage is simply awe-inspiring.
The gap between Richard Reschke in second and Warren Dodd remains over a second, but Richard Reschke is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 12 minutes? The action is heating up here as Jeevan Davis is in fifth, defending from Joost Haystack, who is only 0.3 seconds away. Ernest Heather is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a tightrope between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely. It's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play.
Jeevan Davis could be looking for a way up the inside of Wayne Midden. Heartbreak for Jeevan Davis as they slip down the field. The crowd is on tender hooks as Richard Reschke in second chases after Warren Dodd. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Richard Reschke find a way to catch up? It looks like we might get a battle between Richard Reschke and Warren Dodd.
This is what racing is all about. It's anyone's game at this point. Who will come out on top?
As a former racing driver, Annie, how important is the relationship between a driver and their team during a race?
It's absolutely crucial, John. The team provides valuable information and support, helping the driver make the right decisions on track. A strong bond between the driver and the team can be the difference between winning and losing.
Wayne Midden is placed fourth at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Joost Haystack, who is 0.4 seconds behind. Looks like Joost Haystack is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curves aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about finding the right balance between speed and control.
The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this. This is where the race gets really interesting. Richard Reschke is closing in on Warren Dodd. This is what high-octane racing looks like. Joost Haystack is breathing down the neck of Jacobus Besson, not giving them any room to relax.
Can they close up enough for a pass? I don't see it personally.
It's looking good for Joost Haystack, who has gained places and put some distance between themselves and Jacobus Besson. Braking development. Looks like that's a mistake from Warren Dodd. This could be costly. I think Jacobus Besson is going to try and outbrake Citroën C1 Racing as they come into the Crocodiles. This could gain them the place, but it may all end badly. Jacobus Besson appears to be trying to find a way round Jeevan Davis. They could make a move on them in Cheetah.
And they are poised to capitalize on any mistake, but who's going to make that mistake first?
Ernest Heather is running 7th. They are trying to catch Jacobus Besson. Things are heating up as Warren Dodd tries to close the gap to Richard Reschke. It's a battle of wills out there, with Wayne Midden trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Joost Haystack. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Will we see a dramatic finish to this race?
It's going to be tough for Wayne Midden, as Joost Haystack seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Wayne Midden pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen again.
This is going to be a nail-biter. Ernest Heather is defending for their life, but Jacobus Besson is right there. Can they do it?
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Jacobus Besson to make up that gap, especially with Ernest Heather defending so well.
Hold on a second. I don't think that's the fastest way around KYALAMI 2016.
Jacobus Besson is not going to be happy about that.
This is a thrilling battle as Wayne Midden edges closer to Joost Haystack in their fight for P2. Looking at the lap times, Wayne Midden is not on pace with Joost Haystack. Can they turn it around? It looks like Ernest Heather is pushing hard to catch up to Jeevan Davis. The gap is over a second, but Ernest Heather is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on Jeevan Davis?
Absolutely. Ernest Heather in fifth will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an off or damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
Look at that, Wayne Midden is hot on the tail of Joost Haystack.
It's a fine line between pushing the car to its limits and losing control. Wayne Midden is really walking that tightrope.
Jeevan Davis is looking for an opportunity to get round Ernest Heather.
Rubbing is racing. Let's hope they don't rub it too hard.
The gap between Jeevan Davis and Ernest Heather is widening. It's now up to 1.2 seconds. Hey, Annie, you've had your fair share of races with little action. How did you handle the situation back in your racing days?
Well, John, patience is key in such scenarios. You need to stay focused and be ready to seize any opportunity that comes your way. It's like a game of chess at 200 miles per hour.
It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Joost Haystack trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Richard Reshka. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can Joost Haystack close in enough to mount a challenge?
That's right. Joost Haystack in second knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Richard Reshka is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Warren Dodd will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. It looks like Warren Dodd is making a move. The gap to Jeevan Davis is now down to 0.5 seconds. The race is heating up as Joost Haystack in second closes in on Richard Reshka. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. Warren Dodd is on a mission, chasing Jeevan Davis, who's desperately trying to stay ahead.
The gap between them is just over 0.4 seconds. Who will have the speed and skill to come out on top?
The battle for 3 is heating up as Ernest Heather tries to catch Wayne Midden in P3. Warren Dodd is giving it their all as they chase down Jeevan Davis in P5. It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while.
It's going to be a close one. Joost Haystack will have to push hard to create an opportunity.
The tension is high. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown?
A misjudgment by either driver could result in a close encounter of the tire barrier kind, and that's one handshake they'll want to avoid.
The pressure is on for Warren Dodd as they try to catch up to Jeevan Davis.
The gap is 0.4 seconds now. Warren Dodd is going to have to work a bit harder to close that gap with Jeevan Davis.
It's a game of inches now as Wayne Midden tails Ernest Heather closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake. The gap between Warren Dodd in 6th and Jeevan Davis remains over a second, but Warren Dodd is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 1 minute?
Indeed, the tension is high as Warren Dodd tries to reel in Jeevan Davis. But Jeevan Davis is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Can Warren Dodd find some extra pace to bring the fight to Jeevan Davis?
The pursuit is on. Wayne Midden is closing the gap on Ernest Heather, determined to claim P3. We got a close battle as Jeevan Davis closes in on Warren Dodd. An impressive showing from Jeevan Davis, who has gained positions and left Warren Dodd in the dust. Annie, can you share some strategies that drivers use to manage tire degradation during a race?
Certainly, John. Some strategies include adjusting the car's setup for better tire life, altering driving lines to reduce wear, and using tire management techniques like lift and coast to preserve grip for as long as possible.
Oh, this is getting intense. Jeevan Davis is just a few car lengths behind Warren Dodd.
Will Jeevan Davis be able to make a move and pass Warren Dodd?
The tension is building as Wayne Midden trails behind Ernest Heather. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Can Ernest Heather hold on, or will Wayne Midden be able to close them down? Jeevan Davis is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a tightrope between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely. It's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play. It's all about finding the perfect opportunity. Jeevan Davis needs to stay patient and wait for Warren Dodd to make a mistake.
The crowd is on tender hooks as Ernest Heather in third chases after Joost Haystack. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Ernest Heather find a way to catch up?
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Ernest Heather in third determined to catch up. But we know Joost Haystack isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Ernest Heather is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed. The gap between Joost Haystack and Ernest Heather is getting smaller.
He'll be looking for a mistake to pounce on.
And Joost Haystack has just won the place from Ernest Heather.
Yes, but they have to keep pushing hard. This race is far from over, and anything can happen. Joost Haystack needs to stay focused and keep driving with skill and determination.
The gap between Ernest Heather and Wayne Midden is pretty substantial right now. It's probably going to take a mistake from Ernest Heather to even allow Wayne Midden to get a look in.
They certainly aren't going to be close enough to mount any kind of challenge soon unless it's down to a mistake from Ernest Heather.
Ernest Heather wants to close that gap with Joost Haystack. A great moment for Ernest Heather, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings.
You can't argue with results like that. Ernest Heather is really making their mark on this race.
It looks like Richard Reshka has found another gear in the last sector of the race.
It takes a special kind of driver to perform under pressure like this. Richard Reshka has certainly risen to the occasion.
The leader has done it. What an incredible performance from Richard Reshka, who is simply untouchable today. This is a race that will go down in the history books.
That was a true masterclass in driving from Richard Reshka. You could see them making split-second decisions with total confidence, and it really paid off. What a performance!
What a drive from Joost Haystack, securing a great second-place finish.
Intense race, but Joost Haystack held their nerve and earned a great second place.
Impressive drive from Ernest Heather to claim the final spot on the podium.
Fantastic result.
Wayne Midden, Warren Dodd, Jeevan Davis, and J.P. Brand end in 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. 8th and 9th sees Peter Geldenhuys and Rian Barkhuizen. Finishing 10th is Jacobus Besson.